Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our ShareFile end user training, brought to you by Citrix Customer Success Management team. We're really excited to share all our tips and tricks of using your new ShareFile tool, so let's get started. Before we get started, depending on the licensing that you purchased, the tool may be called Content Collaboration, Citrix Files, or even ShareFile. The tool features are all the same, but just to avoid confusion as we're going through the presentation, we will use all three namings. We also have added our reference guide, so as we go through the slide deck today, you'll note that the reference guide is listed as a resource on the control panel here within GoToWebinar. So all the linked material that we go through today, you'll have access to even after the session today. We will also be taking questions throughout the presentation, so as you have questions, please enter them into the questions box also on your GoToWebinar control panel. You'll be able to enter in questions as we go, but we'll wait until the end of the presentation to go through all of the questions then. Feel free to ask for us to deep dive any of the features or even ask a question about a topic that maybe we haven't touched. We'll be more than happy to re-review or deep dive into that feature. For presenters today, we have Megan Kramer, Senior Program Manager of Customer Success, Kruti Karsain, Senior Product Manager of Admin Experience, and our technical guru, Jose Yulico, Customer Success Manager in the Americas. For the agenda today, we'll be going over account setup, where you'll be able to locate your welcome email and sign-in page. We'll also go over your personal settings that you can update. And then we'll go into a deep dive inside the tool. We'll go over your dashboard, managing files and folders, being able to share your files and folders, and then also requesting files. Finally, for the third portion, we'll go over advanced features. We'll go over ShareFile Office Online Editing, Outlook plugin, Citrix Files for Windows and Mac, and then finally our print driver. So let's get started. The first section, again, is account setup.
Thanks, Meg. So before you get your hands dirty with ShareFile, let's go ahead and work through getting access to your account. The first thing you want to do when you get your ShareFile account is locate the email that was sent to you from your account administrator. Once you find it, you'll want to click on Activate Account to be directed to enter your name and create a password. After logging in, be sure to bookmark the page for faster access to your web portal. Going forward, you'll be prompted to enter your email and password to access ShareFile. If you ever need to reset your password, use the Forgot Password link on this page. Once you've gotten access to your account, you want to start to get familiar with your personal settings. Some of the main settings that stand out are 1. Edit your profile. So this is where you can change your password, update email addresses, and email notifications. The second one is personal security, where you can set up two-step verification, where you can use your phone to provide an extra layer of security for your username. You can either set up telesign or register a QR code to log in. The third and fourth one are personal cloud connectors as well as advanced connectors. Connect to one of the cloud services to access files stored there through ShareFile. This really helps you migrate your data without having to lift and shift from other data sharing products. And then the final one that we have here are apps and devices. Lock a user account on the device to prevent the user from accessing the ShareFile data on it.
Perfect, thank you, Kruti. So now let's take a look inside the tool. First, we'll go into personalized dashboard. Jose?
Thank you, Megan. So one of the things in ShareFile is that you are able to set your account as best suited. So one of the things that we have is the dashboard, and this is basically the landing page after you log on to ShareFile, and it's basically a place where you will be able to see shortcuts to the most common functions or files that you have been accessing, even folders. It has by default 4 tiles which you can choose to display or not by clicking on the Edit Dashboard. The sections are recent files, which is going to show the 5 files that you have been accessing most recently. And this is an easy way to go back to files that you were previously working on. Shortcut section will allow you to button to the most common tasks and features on share file, so you can start working right away, sharing or requesting files as an example. The tutorial section will have a selection of articles and videos, which will be categorized for navigating easily through them, and it's a great resource for people, especially starting using the application. The favorite section will allow you to shortcut files and folders that you mark as favorites in order to save time in case that you are looking for files and folders that you need to access frequently. Then you have the option to create personal folders. All employee users are assigned a personal folder by default. This personal folder, you will have full administrator rights on it and on any subsequent subfolders that you create in the personal folder root section. So you will be able to create and delete folders and files, add users, and determine the specific permissions that you want to set for them. In order to do this, you will have to click on the white plus sign, and this will display a menu with the actions available. This is the easiest way to create new folders. Right-click on any folder or file will display the available actions for those specific folders and files. Multiple items can be selected, and this changes the available options that you have. The share folders will display any folders that other users have shared with you. The actions that you might perform in these folders will vary on the specific level of access that you have been granted previously by administrator. Creating folders in the root level of shared folders is a specific access that might be revoked when creating employee users. This helps administrator to have a better managing of the file structure. Users with admin rights to specific share folders will have the same level of control that they have on their personal folders. Right-clicking on an item will display the actions available for the specific selection of files and folders. So for the folder settings, we have the folder expiration date, and this is the date when the folder and all of the items inside will be deleted. The file retention policy, on the other hand, will allow you to set a specific amount of days, after which the files inside this folder will be deleted, but the folder will remain. File versioning will allow you the option to create a new version of a file instead of overwriting the file. Sort order will allow you to set default sort order fields, and you can have this apply to your subfolders. The folder template will allow you to select a folder template previously created by an administrator to apply the folder structure to this specific folder. The storage zone will allow customers to manage the storage zones, and this will allow users to change the storage zone from a specific folder. Now, in order to add users to a folder, the admin's right will be required on that specific folder. Then you should click on People on this folder tab, and then just proceed by adding the user. By checking the boxes, you will select the specific permissions every user and distribution group will have on the folder. To add users, again, just click on Add People to Folder, and this will allow you to add multiple users at the same time and user group, and use a similar checkbox matrix to determine the specific levels of access. To remove users, then you just click on the checkboxes next to the names you want to remove, and then click on Remove Selected. Clone User will allow you to add a user with the same access level as the selected user. So let's see how this works.
Okay, now let's take a view at the dashboard. So the dashboard is basically the landing page after you log on to the Citrix share file. And this is going to be the view that you will have as soon as you log on. So as you can see, we have by default 3 default sections over here at the center. So we had favorites, where you can actually check on the folders that I have and files that I also have marked as favorites, right? The recent files, which is going to show me the top files that I have been working on. A list of 5 will be displayed there. Shortcuts down below, where I can actually start working on the most common functions on share file. So I can start sharing and requesting files, for example. And also, you need to know regarding the dashboard that you can drag around sections and then just place them as you want to. You can also click on Edit Dashboard and perhaps add a different section here as an example tutorials. So you will know how this section here that is going to give you some useful videos and links for different topics that you might need to check on. I strongly recommend to check on this, especially when you are starting using ShareFile, to learn a little bit more about the application. We also have the folder sections over here. So I'm going to show you how to create a folder, right? I will be creating this folder in the share folder section here. And what I will do will be just to go to the plus sign here, click on create folder, right? I'm going to name this one financial, right? As you can see, when I'm creating a folder, I have the option to add people to this folder. However, I'm not going to do that because I will do it a little bit later. All right. Once you create a folder in ShareFile, the system is going to take you inside that folder so you can start working on the folder that you just created, right? As you can see at this moment, this folder is empty, but perhaps I may need to add some people first before I start adding some documents in there. So let's do that. As an administrator, I have the option to view these people on this folder tab. So you will be able to add people from this view, right? Just clicking on this tab. And by going to the add people to folder, which is this blue button here. What I will do will be to then look for a peer or a user that I have already registered in ShareFile and just apply the permissions to that person. So as you can see, as I selected my peer Tatiana, I will be able to give her the default access, which are view, download, and upload, right? And with the default notifications. So let's click on add. And there you go. This is how you can add someone to a folder.
Great, thank you, Jose. So now let's go into managing files within the folders. To add a file, it's pretty simple. Just click on the blue circle with the white plus sign, and you'll be able to see where you can upload a file. That will be the simplest way to do it from within the web browser. But additionally, you can also do drag and drop. Simply pick up the folder from your desktop and drag it to the web browser to drop the file. This will allow you to add multiple files at once if needed. Additionally, we can go into file versioning. Jose, would you like to cover file versioning?
Yes, Megan, thank you. File versioning is a feature that might be enabled on ShareFile. It's both an account-wide policy and a folder-specific setting. So folder administrators might override account-wide policy. There's no limit to the maximum number of versions that might be stored of any specific files. So files that have multiple versions will display the blue sheet of paper icon. And clicking on the icon will display the different file versions that are available. So you will be able to select which one do you want to download or delete in case that you have such right. Any files with the exactly same name file and file type will be automatically saved as the latest version. This ensures that no changes will be lost between updates or edits, and that there will be no file overwritten. If a user attempts to download a file that has multiple versions, the latest version will be the one that will be downloaded by default. To access previous versions of a file, just click on the blue version of icon, and by default, the file versioning will be saving unlimited versions of a given file. The account default is to have an admin user on the account. Changing this, but by default will be enabled. The file check-in and check-out. So the file check-in and check-out prevents users from uploading different versions of the same document while another has locked the document. So to check documents out, you may right-click on the item, then check the box next to the item name and click on More. Then this will allow you to select the option to check out. When you check out a file, a message will display and just to confirm, and you will see an icon, an orange icon that will also let you know that the file has been checked out. If a user attempts to upload a document with the same name to the same folder, they will see an error message shown there, and it will let them know that the file has been checked out. So they won't be able to upload the file until the file is checked back in again. You might discard the checkout at any time by right-clicking on the item and selecting the Discard Checkout. You might upload a new version of the file by right-clicking on the item and selecting Check-in. This option will take you to the upload page to upload a new version of the file. Sharing files and folders. To display the share options, users can do either or both. You can check the boxes next to the items that I want to share, or else just right-click on the item that you want to share and click on the share button that is displayed. When clicking on the shortcut section, the share menu will not display any content to be shared. The other two options will show the items that were checked. All of this will take the users to the share screen where they might choose from the available sharing options. Sharing files. So once you get a file to share, you have two main options, either email with share file or get a link. The recipients will not have to be added beforehand to the account because you will have the option to edit the message options and then add them. You can also change the notifications, expiration date for the link, and the require users to log in options. Also, be sure to know that the requesting files has exactly the same process and the same options. So let's see how this works.
Okay, there's a couple things that you need to know. So this is a folder view, and we're going to discuss about the files. So the first thing is how to upload a file to ShareFile. You have different ways to do that. So you can always go to the plus sign here, click on Upload, and this will bring you to a screen where you will be actually able to select a file or browse a file on your computer. Or a simpler way to do this is actually to just have your File Explorer open there, look for the file that you need to upload to ShareFile, and then just drag and drop it over here, right? As you can see, it's quite simple and fast, and depending on the file size, it's going to take a little bit longer than usual, but it's going to be there. You're going to get a notification about the upload here, and also who was the person that uploaded the file, all right? Speaking about files, there's a couple of things that we need to be aware of as well. So file versioning. File versioning is a feature on ShareFile that will allow you to keep different versions of a file available for everybody that has access to a folder to check on. So you're going to notice that a file has different versions on it because you will notice a blue sheets icon towards the right. And if you hover over the mouse, it's going to let you know that this file has multiple versions. So by default, the latest version that has been saved will always be available right here. So you can just click on it and download it. If you want a different version, you can click on the blue sheets and then select the version that you want to go back to and download that version, right? So this is great because you will be able to forget about overwriting a file by mistake, and you can always go back to previous versions of files, right? Also, if you want to make sure that you are the only one working on a file at this very moment and that nobody else that has access to this folder is going to tamper with that file while you're working on it, you can always check out a file. You can do this by right-clicking on the file that you're going to work on and then click on the checkout function. As you can see, the system is going to let you know that the checkout will expire in 24 hours if no other action is taken on it. So by doing this, I'm going to pretty much let this file locked. So everybody else will know or will get a notification whenever they try to open this file that this file is currently being worked on by myself. So they will get a similar message letting them know when the locked-out or the checkout would expire, right? By doing this, I'm making sure that nobody else will modify this file while I'm working on it. And then when I'm done, I can, save the new version of the file by uploading it, or I can just right-click back on the document and click on Discard Checked Out. All right. Well, now the last thing that you need to know about files is how to share them. So the easiest way for me to share a file is, as I just did, just mark the file here, click on Share, and then you will have two main options to share the file. Email with share file. This way you will have to specify who are going to be the recipients of this file. So you need to know who is this file address for, and get a link, which will allow you to basically create a link to this file. So whoever gets access to this link will be able to download the file. And the main difference is the audience. So with this one, email with share file, you need to specify the audience. While getting a link will allow you to just copy a link, and it's going to be for an open audience, since anyone that has access to the link will be able to share the file. So right now what I will do is just click on email with share file, looking for a contact that I already have in share file. All right, add a small subject. If I want to add a message, which is optional, I can do so. I'm gonna leave it as it is right now. And then I'm going to click on send. There you go. I will get confirmation that the item was sent successfully. And this just to let me know that my coworker Tatiana will be receiving that file.
Great, thank you, Jose. So now let's go into advanced features in the portal. The first one being Office Online Editing.
The ShareFile Office Online Editing will allow you to edit documents online using ShareFile. So a customer that owns an Office 365 licenses will benefit from the ShareFile Office 365 integration because it will allow them to, create new spreadsheets, Word documents, and presentation on any folder where they have upload rights. And also they will be able to edit any of those Office 360 compatible files on any folder where they are located. So and as long as they have rights. So users will simply need to complete the login when they are prompted to the Office 365, and Office 365 will automatically be stored within ShareFile. So those credentials will be saved there. The customer that owns Office 365 will also have the option to collaborate online with another peer that has access to the same file. Also, the Office plugin. The Office plugin is another tool that ShareFile has made available for customers that will allow them to use the Office application in order to start sharing and requesting files in a more easy way using their Outlook tool. So in order to share documents when composing a new email, you can click on the Attach Files in the Citrix Files ribbon. The files are not attached to the email per se. So this helps circumvent file size limitations for attachments. So to request documents, the request links are displayed as hyperlinks that you can click, and users might change the text to a phrase that better suits their company needs or branding. And you can also create a direct link in your email signature. So let's see how this works.
Okay, now let's take a look at online editing, which is a function that ShareFile has, but you will need to have your employee user with an Office 365 license assigned, so they will be able to do the online editing. I'm gonna pick any of the Microsoft Office files that I got here. As an example, this template. And you're going to notice that it's going to let you know that it's a Word Online document. So over here, we'll have a preview of the document, and I will have some of the basic functions for the Word Online. But what I want to do is to edit the file. So I'm going to click on Edit, which is on the right panel. And on the next screen, I will be able to work on this document online. So no need to open Microsoft Word to start working on that. As you can see, this is a ShareFile document, saved to ShareFile, but it's still a Microsoft Word online document. So all I need to do will be to type in here or do the modifications that I need to do. Notice that at the top it says saving as I'm making changes to the file, and when it's ready, it's just gonna read save to ShareFile, right? So you know that every time that you do something new and modification is gonna be saved as the new version of the file. If I want to save this file, basically I just need to exit out, and the new version of the file will be saved there, right? So now let's talk about the Outlook plugin integration. So in order for me to work on that, I'm going to show you my Microsoft Outlook here. You're going to notice that this application is installed on your Outlook because you will have this blue options button over here where you can control how do you want this plugin to behave with your Outlook. So if I click there, I will be able to change the general settings, which will allow me to see how I do want ShareFile to interact on the attachments. So whether I want to convert all attachments to a ShareFile format, or if I want to convert the attachments that are over 5 megabytes, something like that, or just the ones that I choose. By default, the option will be set to automatically convert attachments over 5 megabytes, but you can change this. You can also change the expiration policy, which is defaulted to all of the files that you send as attachments. And if you want to show the ShareFile icon, which you will see in a bit. So let me just save this feature, click on OK here. And now let me show you how an email that you're composing with the Outlook plugin is going to look like. So I just create a new email, and you see that from this view, it's pretty much the same. I will have a couple of extra buttons there available, like the encryption. If you want to work with ShareFile encryption, you can do so. This is going to add an extra layer of security to the documents and emails that you're sending, right? Also, we have here on the right a couple other features that this plugin is going to give you. As an example, you can start attaching files from here, requesting files, or even initiate workflows. So what I'm going to do here is to send an email to my coworker Tatiana, right? And I'm going to attach a file that I have on my ShareFile. When you click on attach files, you're going to notice that it's going to give you two options, from PC or from Citrix. From Citrix is going to be from your ShareFile account. So you will be able to pick a file or folder that you have access to on your ShareFile account. So let's do that. You see that I have the option to select different ones. So if I go to favorites, I should be able to just go and pick one of the ones that I got here, right? Let's pick this one. And there you go. Once the file is attached in ShareFile format, it's not going to send a huge attachment regardless of the size of the document. So basically what you will be sending out to your contact there is only a link on a banner format that is going to give them the access to download this file securely from my ShareFile account from the cloud. So I'm just going to send this to my peer, right? And wait for her response back. And there you go. The message has been sent.
Now, Citrix Files is a tool that ShareFile has made enabled for both Mac and Windows users, and this will allow the users to have an easier way to access what they have access to through the portal. So, as an example, you will see that accessing the ShareFile will be easier because on Windows you will have the Explorer interface, and what you basically will have is a network drive-like interface that will allow you to access the content that you have been granted access to. We also have the print driver. So the print driver is basically a printer emulator that will allow you to upload a file to ShareFile instead of printing it out. So the way it works is that you will be able to select a file and then print it through the print driver option. So the print driver will take that file and it will give you the option to just not save it into ShareFile, but also take it for directions. As an example, you can share the file to another party using ShareFile, or you can send it out to be used as an e-signature document, which requires the right signature integration.
All right, now let me show you the print driver. So the print driver will basically allow you to emulate a physical driver, but instead of printing out physical pages, what you will be doing is basically converting any TXT, Word document, or PDF into a PDF that will be saved into your ShareFile account, or that you will be able to use on ShareFile. So let me show you how it works with this document. So let's say that I need to print out this document, ShareFile, so I'll go to File, Print, and here, instead of picking up any of my physical printers, I will just select the Citrix Print to Share File, click on Print, and what's going to happen next is that I will have the window of ShareFile telling me where I need to save this document within my ShareFile account. So let me show you here. There you go. This is the document that I will be saving. As you can see, the format will be PDF, meaning that even though this document was initially a Word document, it's going to be printed out as a PDF within my ShareFile account. So I'm going to save a PDF copy of that document instead of doing a physical printing, actually. Over here, I will just need to select where do I want to save this document. I'm going to just save it on my clients folder. And then I can click on Upload Only. Or if I want to take more actions within ShareFile, I can just click on more actions here. And as you can see, I can email with ShareFile, copy a link to the file, send it for signature, which will require right signature, or with SFAX. At this moment, I'm just going to upload it only. You will see a progress bar, and there you go. Then you will get a confirmation that the message has been successfully uploaded to the client's folder, as I did. Over here, you can take additional actions if you want to, right? And you will basically going to have the same actions that I showed you before, or you can just close out the window knowing that this file has been saved on your ShareFile account.
Perfect. Thank you, Jose. So now we've gone over all of the features that we outlined in the beginning agenda. Now we'd like to go over any questions that you may have. Again, feel free to add questions to the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. It looks like we do have a few coming in, so we are ready to answer any of those questions.
All right. Well, hello everybody. This is Jose Yalico, and I will be helping today on the Q&A section of this webinar. Please remember that this is for you, so don't be afraid to go ahead and ask your questions away. I will try to, answer as many as possible, and I will try to pick them randomly so everybody gets the chance to ask a question, right? So we do have a couple of questions already there on queue. So I will start with those, and then we will see if perhaps you guys have questions. Again, just ask away. Don't feel afraid. Don't shy away on asking any question. It might actually help somebody else as well on the line. So the first question that we have here is there any way to see files that had been accessed or downloaded on any specific folder? And well, the answer is yes, right? The easiest way to actually check on activity, on a folder activity, is by going to such folder, right? Let me just show you here. I'm gonna use this one as an example. And there will be some options on top of the folder, right? So if you are an administrator, pretty much, you will see that in a folder administrator, by the way, you will notice that you will have this more options, right, where you can click on view activity log, right? This will allow you to pretty much check on the type of activity that you want to pretty much track on, and then you can actually check on the, on a specific time frame. Let's see, for last month, and there you go. You can see that you will have the traces to pretty much every user activity inside this folder, right? If you want to include also the activity for subfolders, then just make sure to check this option in, and you will see that the system will refresh on the data. There you go. And it's going to actually give you more details, not only on this folder itself, right, as you can see on this example, but also on subfolders that are contained within this folder, right? So this is the best and easiest way to actually check on what has been going on inside a folder, right? And you can then import this to Excel. The other way to do this will be to actually create a report, right? So if you want this to be a little bit broader in terms of where are you looking for activity, my advice will be then to go to the settings. As an administrator, this is an account administrator actually. Go to admin settings. And within the company account information option that you will see here, there's a reporting section where you can actually create either ad hoc reports, meaning reports that you just run once, and then we also have recurring reports, right? The recurring reports will require you to set a specific location within your folder structure in order for the system to save those recurring reports, right? Such recurring reports can be on weekly, monthly, daily basis. It's up to you, right? And you can create them based on multiple criteria. Again, just to give you a glimpse on this, you can make it on usage, so you can see what kind of activity has been going on, and you can make it account wide if you want to, just for specific folders. You can base it on users as well, right? So it's up to you, right? And we will have different criteria, as you can see here: access, to review access and permissions to different folders, access change, storage details, right? Share and request. So, there's many options for you to actually check on how the account is being used. And again, this option, the reporting option, will be if you want to get more details for, how the account has been used. Okay, I hope that answers that question. So we will see. I have just another question that I'm about to answer. Feel free to ask any other questions, right? Okay, this other question goes to, um, okay, when you remove someone from a specific folder, what happens to the files? So let me go back again to this folder and I can show you. Um, Nothing should happen to the to the files on a specific folder. When you remove someone from that folder, that's something that is not going to affect the contents of the folder itself, right? So as an example, if I go to this folder named customer A, first of all, I will have an administrator view. And again, there's a couple tips for you to know when you have admin rights over a folder, because you will see the more options button up top, and then you will actually see as well a list with names here, people on this folder, right? This button will allow you to see the list of people that has been added to specific folders. Now, as you can see on this folder, myself and my peer Jonathan are the only ones that have any kind of access over it, right? So I'm a full administrator. You can see because I have, first of all, I'm indicated here as owner, and then I also have the delete and admin options check and grayed out, right? So that means that I'm pretty much the full folder owner. Now, notice that there are already some items on this folder, right? So what happens if I remove someone, and in this case, I'm gonna remove my peer Jonathan from this specific folder so you guys can see. It's just a matter of putting a check next to his name and then click on remove selected, right? You're gonna get, a prompt asking you, are you sure you want to remove the selected user from the folder? Let's click on just remove, right? And then this should take just a second here. Let me just refresh. There you go. So the user, Jonathan Solis, has been removed from the folder, but the files remain the same, right? Nothing happened to the files, right? So this is a security measure, of course, because we just want to make sure that, nothing gets changed, right? And if you need to, as an example, I don't know, terminate the relationship with one of your clients, you might need to end up removing that person from the system completely altogether. So this will be a secure way to actually remove their access to any existing folder or documents that they used to have access to. So that's an option that you have, right? In the case for employees, right? Like myself, well, I'm an employee in this account and also an administrator. If you remove an employee from your account, then the system should be prompting you to transfer over the data owned by this employee to someone else, right? So that's usually what happens. So there's no way that data will be deleted by mistake whenever you're removing a user from a specific folder or from the system itself. As an example, I will show you this. I'm browsing on my employees by going to the people, browse employees. And then what I would do would be to just remove my peer, Rodolfo, altogether from the system, right? So I just want to make sure that I don't disable this user, I don't downgrade it to client. What I would do would be to delete it completely from the system, right? So notice that at this point, the system share file is telling me that there could be some folders or files owned by this specific employee. Therefore, it's asking me, shall we assign this or whatever this employee owns to this other employee? And let's click on delete to confirm that. There you go. Okay. It's taking a little bit, but as soon as it's done, all the information then that Rodolfo owned, if he owned anything, is going to be transferred over to me. So no data will be lost this way, right? And as you can see that there was a message here that says reassignment was successful. That's while the system was, loading in the information and actually taking a little bit to delete the user. Okay, we have another question. Can I resend multiple welcome emails at once to new clients? I added, yes, of course, you can do that. There are different ways to do this, right? If I, as an example, I'm adding users to a specific, let's say clients here. and you want to add them here because there are like many names. When you're doing this, there will be like an entry for each one of the clients that you are adding to. The thing is that when you click on create and continue, there should be a prompt asking you if you want to send the welcome email, right? After you're done with the settings, pretty much the settings part, you will be asked if you want to send the welcome email. Let's say that you actually didn't, right? And that you skip this part because, I don't know, you wanted to make sure that, I don't know, the files on their folders were already set and then everything was clear. And then you can go to any specific folder where you add them to already. Let me just show you. And then from that share folders, I'm sorry, from that folder view, there's an option I'm about to show you. People in this folder, right? Well, in this case, it's just me. Let me go to a different folder, one that has people added here, so you guys can see how it works. Okay, let's see if we have people added to this one. There you go. Okay, so you do have Jonathan in here. If I need to notify him again, I should just select his name and click on notify users, right? And by doing this, I will be resending them a message there, letting them know, hey, I just add you to my ShareFile account. Please follow these instructions to activate the email, right? And then that's it. I mean, it's the easiest way, right? So don't be afraid to, skip over sending the activation emails, because at any point you can resend them back again. And this is especially useful whenever we have customers that, they misplace the email, they just delete it, and they're like, hey, you know what? Can you send me that activation email back again? Okay, this is the way that you do it, actually. Yeah. So you can even preview the email that you're about to send them, right? And there you go, right? This is basically what they will see once they get it. They will have to click the link to activate it, and that's it, right? So I hope that that answers the question. Okay. All right, excellent, and thank you, David. So it looks like we don't have any other questions. So in this particular case, I have to thank you very much for joining in today. Please remember that we have a handout section here on the GoToMeeting interface where you can download the material with the reference resources that we talk about during the first half of the webinar. And also, please do let us know what you think about the webinar. We will greatly appreciate if you could just fill out the survey that you are about to see after we close in this session. And please remember that we are doing these webinars on a bi-weekly basis, right? So we have on Tuesdays the one that is directed to administrators, and the one for today, of course, was directed a little bit more for end users, but we are always happy to help and answer any question, regardless the webinar that we have here. So thank you once again. We're gonna leave this room open for another 5 minutes so you get enough chance to download the resource materials. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining us today. We hope that you enjoy a wonderful day. Take care.